guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Nancy from nancybadijo.com and welcome to another episode of Etsy Shop Critique. And today I'm doing a critique on the store called the Dalian Wish Shop, and the owner's name is Stephanie. So Stephanie, thank you for letting me do a review of your shop. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to talk about, as a new Etsy seller or anyone out there that is currently an Etsy seller and has not done this so far, you will need to sign up for some type of automated tool to keep track of your expenses, to keep track of any fees that you pay Etsy. I highly recommend using QuickBooks. So anything that I recommend on this video, any resources that I currently use, I will leave them below on this video. So below this video, there's going to be a little box. If you click there, you'll see all the links to everything and anything that I talk about on this video. And the reason why I talk about QuickBooks is because it's really nice. It puts all your finances together in one place, and at the end of the year, you could print it out or save it into a file, or email it to your CPA to do your taxes. And it's something that a lot of people don't talk about, or they're even scared to talk about. But you have to treat Etsy like a real business, because it really is. And you are going to have to pay taxes quarterly, not yearly, to avoid penalties. So I definitely recommend to set up an account. I will leave the link below, but you definitely need to do it, because what you don't want to do is leave it as is and then have to pay all these penalties at the end of the year because you weren't paying taxes quarterly like you're supposed to. So just kind of wanted to bring that up. But let's go ahead and start the actual audit. I did an audit on this actual listing right here. So the first thing I always talk about is the product photography. And the reason why is because that's the first thing that a potential buyer is going to see, is the actual picture of whatever they searched. So for me, when I look at this picture, the first thing I think of, I thought it was soap. That was my impression. Now, after I read your listing description, it's not soap, obviously, it's a wax melt. However, this is where confusion can take place, because even if somebody did type in wax, or they typed in something else like fall and apple, they might think that this is actually a soap. So what you want to make sure that your pictures convey is, not only are you taking amazing photos, you also want to make sure that when the person sees the picture, they automatically know, oh, this is wax melt. You don't want any confusion. If there's confusion, either one, you could get the sale and they want a refund, or two, they won't buy and they'll shop somewhere else because they weren't unsure of what they were looking. Unfortunately, we live in a world that people don't read. Everything is visual stimulation. Everything, that's why Instagram is so popular. That's why Pinterest is so popular. Everything is visual, visual, visual. So you want to make sure that you tap into that visual look, and that when somebody looks at the picture, they know exactly what they're buying. They know this is a wax melt, and they know exactly what it is. I highly recommend using some type of light box. They have these light boxes. I talk about them in my videos because I have one for one of my shops, and I love it. You could buy one on Amazon. I got mine, I think, I got it like 2 years ago, so I want to say it was like $40 or something. And this is how they look. And you're able to put your product in here. You're able to take pictures. You could use an iPhone, or you could use like your regular camera. Because you have this and it doesn't create shadows, and it's a really nice crispy picture with a nice white background, you could pretty much do it with your actual cell phone, and the pictures come out amazing. So I highly recommend a light box, or something like similar to this. You could go to like Home Depot and buy like a flat lay. I've done that before. It's like a piece of marble tile, and kind of lay it out really pretty. Go outside and use natural lighting to take the picture. That way you don't have shadows. But I highly recommend getting creative. And the one thing about being a Etsy seller is that you have to wear many hats. A lot of those hats we are not experts in. So when you're an Etsy seller, you have to wear like photography hat, SEO hat, writing hat for your listing description. There's so many things that come in place. So it can be a little bit difficult trying to manage all of them and trying to get really good at all of them. So if you don't have the skill, or you feel like you really can't put the time and energy, I will hire a photographer. I will pay someone else to do it for you as well, because there are people out there that make money by doing product photography for other people. So you could Google that and find someone local in your area that could take your pictures to a whole different level. But you definitely want to work on your pictures. You have a shadow. These back here, you can barely see them. Um, in my opinion, you could have an amazing product, but a bad photo could prevent you from making a sale. And it really doesn't matter how amazing your product is. If the photo is not good, you're not gonna make the sale. It's just the bottom line. And your pictures, like back here, they're dark. In the front, you see the flash too much, like you could barely see them. And yeah, so I definitely will work on your photos, making sure that you have a settled background. I wouldn't do it on this right here, only because it's taking away from the actual picture. It makes you look back there as well. So you want to make sure that, one, you try to use all 10 available spots of pictures, that you show off your product in different angles, that you have something to scale that item so people know what size it is. You have a subtle background, that, like I said, that will not distract from the item, and that your photos are nice and center and pretty and sized correctly. Um, Another thing that I would recommend doing is adding a call to action. So you could put like a text image saying, click below to view listing description, or click below to view matching items, or click below to learn more about this product. Another thing you could add as well is click here and then have a little arrow pointing to the heart. Click here to favorite this item. And the reason why you want to do little things like that as extra images, especially if you can't fill out all 10 images, you're like, I've done as many as I can, is because you're telling the customer favorite this item. And now Etsy, what they're doing a little bit different from before, is that anytime you favorite an item, if that shop adds new items, or they reduce the price of something in their shop, or any changes of those natures, that person that liked or favorite your store or favorite that item will get a notification sent to their Etsy profile that this store has increased inventory or decreased pricing, or they have a sale going on. And that's really nice, because even though that potential buyer maybe didn't buy at that given moment, maybe by getting that notification, they'll come back and buy from you. So it's just a nice thing to do, is telling customers, hey, you could favorite this item, because a lot of people don't know that. Some people do, but some people don't pay attention to little things like that. So by you letting them know, they're going to be more prone to go ahead and click it and save it for future reference. So that's really, really a nice feature that it was always there, but now they're getting notification, which is way better. So yeah, you would definitely need to work on your product photography for sure. The next thing you need to work on is your SEO. So SEO is, like you might know already, or you're learning, is search engine optimization. And it's how Google and any search engine like Google, Bing, Yahoo, Etsy search engine understands what this page is about. So that's how it knows that if somebody was to type in wax melt sample, oh, I'm sorry, wax melt, they know, oh, okay, this page is about wax melt. Let's go ahead and pull up this page. So that's how it's just the language between the page to the search engine, so they could kind of it could connect what goes with what. And the tool that I currently use is called Rank. It's free. They do have a paid version, but I don't use that one. I just use the free one. It does the job for me. And Rank basically is a tool for all Etsy sellers. And you could connect your shop. And what Rank does is that it will help you with pretty much everything. You could look at what's missing in your store, if you're missing tags, if you're missing images. You could do research. You could spy on your competitors. You could see where a specific item will lay on, like the category, if you're not sure where you should put it at. It has so many cool features. I highly recommend signing up, playing with it, getting to know it, because this is going to be your best friend. And I did the audit on that one, and the first thing I noticed is that you're not using all 13 keywords. You definitely have to use all 13. Even in the beginning, if you don't know what you're doing, put all 13. If you have to guess, it's better to guess and put all 13 than not even have all 13. The reason why is because the more the more keywords you put, the more chances of your store getting found. If you only use 5 tags, you're almost limiting yourself to potential buyers. So you don't want to do that. You never want to do that. You want to make sure that you use all 13 tags. And another thing I noticed is that a lot of your keywords are very high in competition, and you are in a competitive niche when you sell wax melts, because it's just something that a lot of people sell on Etsy. And I'm in a competitive niche, so it could get a little tedious when trying to find new keywords and trying to, find keywords that you could organically rank for. It's not impossible, but you definitely have to do the groundwork of researching and finding those keywords that would drive you a little bit more traffic to your shop. And one way that you could tell that this is very high, if you were to take the word wax melts and if you were to go to Etsy.com and you put the keyword up here and search, it's going to auto populate how many other shops have the same keyword. And as you can see, there's 27,000 other stores that are using the same keyword. So therefore, this keyword is too competitive. If you were to try to rank organically for it without paying any advertising, it's going to be almost impossible to rank for, because it's so competitive. So many people are using it. If you were to run a Etsy ad, it's going to be your cost per click is going to be higher than a word that have like low competition, because so many people are bidding for that particular keyword. So you kind of want to keep that in mind, that if you ever use a high keyword and then you run an ad, you're always going to pay a little bit more, due to the nature that everyone else is using that same keyword. So they do charge you more for that. So you could rank on the first page or the second. And that's if you get lucky to rank on the first or second, because a lot of times, if you don't have all your SEO in place, and you're not very let's say like that particular item doesn't get a lot of likes, it'll be hard for you to place in the first or second page of Etsy. So it's a lot of determining factors, but you definitely want to work on your keywords, and you have to be very creative when using the keyword tool to find keywords. You have to be very descriptive. So if I'm looking for, let's say, a table lamp, I wouldn't just put the word lamp, because that's too broad. And therefore, when I put in the word lamp, it's going to come up with like so many different options. So I would put something like small blue table lamp, because that's as specific as I want. And when I do that, that will narrow down only what I want. Versus if you just do a keyword that's very broad, you're targeting to everybody. And you don't want to do that, because ultimately what you want to do is target to your audience. That for people that shop for wax melts on a regular basis. You don't want to just target anybody and spend energy and money targeting just whoever, and then you're not making any money, and you're not targeting your audience for your particular items. So something like this, sample packs, I wouldn't use that one. The reason why is because a sample pack could be anything. It could be a sample pack of lipstick. It could be a sample pack of dog food. It could be a sample pack of, I mean, it's just so many things. If you type it in on Etsy, you see that pretty much everything comes up. Powder, eco-friendly packages, um, crab food, perfume oil, balm samples, um, green coffee bean. But as you can see, it's so many different things. So now you're just targeting anybody. You're not targeting the right people that will buy your product. So one way that you could still use sample pack, but somewhat target the people that you're looking for, is that you could just type in up here on the search on the search results for keywords, you could put wax melt sample pack. And then you could kind of see if you find, right, if you find low competition keywords, because if you find ones that are too high, then you don't want to use that either, because I mean, it just defeats the purpose, because you're not going to get the organic traffic to your shop. So you do that, and then you go, and it's going to spit out a list. So right here, you got a wax melt sampler. That will be a good one because you have a sample pack that goes with your listing. You got let's see here. I wouldn't use that one. Wax sampler, I would use that one. I don't know if scent sampler is really yours, because scent could be anything, could be perfume or something else. But we are finding some, at least. Wax sample. Let's see. I wouldn't use sample box because, again, that's too broad. Wax melt sample, that's another good one there. This is a good one if you have chocolate wax melt, like if you sell that later, like keep that in mind, that's a good keyword right there. Halloween one, that's a good one, but yours is not Halloween right now. Wax melt bundle, that's a good one. So you see, we are finding some that you could rank for. Sample wax melt. So, but you have to like think about it that way. Don't put words that are too broad. Like, don't put wax and then like melt separate. Like, put them together. Like, create long keywords or long tail keywords. That's what they call them. Which is like you're getting very granular. Like, you're getting very specific to your product. When you do that, you're going to find people that are typing in wax melt sample. That's what they want. Versus when you type in sample bundle, you're targeting everybody in Etsy, and 90% of those people don't want wax melt. So that's the key thing that you have to really, really think about when you're doing research for keywords. Describing your item. If your item is blue, then put blue, blue wax melt. If you know how yours have like little stars, so just put star wax melt and kind of see what comes up. Just keep playing with it. Have different variations too. Don't just put bundle, like put the same thing over and over and over because you found like 15 that kind of go with it. Like, kind of mix them up. Star wax melts. There you go. You have one there that you can use for your shop. So you have the chance to do it. Right here, another one. These are heart, so if you have sell any heart ones, this will be a good one for you as well. So you just gotta keep doing this and keep putting those ideas up here, researching, and then every time you find one, write it down on a piece of paper and keep doing that until you have all 13 tags. Change it around. Star, okay, what else can I do? Colorful stars, wax melt. Okay, what other keywords can I come up with? Once you have, let's say you did the research, you got all 13 tags, you want to put the tags in here. You want to separate them with commas. Don't put the little line. Just put wax. Let's say this is one word, wax melt. Like, that's the one keyword, comma. Candle tarts, comma. Wax warmers melts, comma. Make sure you put a comma in each, after each tag, basically. You want to make sure that the most important tag is right in the beginning of your title. How you identify what's the most important tag? You put the one that describes your product the best and the one that has the low competition. So you have to keep that in mind as well. And you put that one right in the front, and then you put the following keywords. Try to fit as many keywords. You're not going to be able to fit all 13, but put as many as you can. Make sure that you sprinkle the keywords on your listing description. So a listing description, you want to do on-page SEO factor. And that what that means is that on-page SEO factor is when you you create a page that the Google search engine will identify what the page is about. So they have certain criteria that you have to do. One of them is putting the keywords in the title. The second is putting the keywords throughout your listing description. Also putting all keywords on your tags on the bottom. So you have to make sure you do that. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that the first 160 characters on your listing description is called the meta description, and this is how it looks. This is what Google sees on the search engine. So if somebody was to type in wax melt sample, this is what they see on Google. So you want to make sure that your meta description is basically really, really enticing. I honestly think you wrote a really good meta description, because a lot of times when I look at other people's meta description, it doesn't make sense, or they have like the shipping costs in there, like they have other stuff. So you did a good job. And this is pulling from your listing description. You see, this is what is pulling. It's pulling from there. The only thing I would say is that you didn't do is that you didn't put, let's say this was your main keyword, this one here, you have to put that keyword here as well. That's a SEO factor. So you will put unsure what to try. Try these Q wax melt sample packs. They're the perfect way to try. You have to like include the actual keyword in there, because that's how, once again, SEO knows that this page is about your sample pack of wax melt. So just keep that in mind. Put the keywords here, and then put the main keyword in here with the listing description of the item. So you did a good job there. Just the only change will be including the new keyword in there. So now you have changed your photos. You have amazing photos. You also have done your SEO. So now we're gonna move on to listing description. So the SEO will drive the traffic. The pictures will get you the clicks, and the listing description is gonna get you the sale. So the listing description is basically, as it sounds, like a description of your item. It tells the customer what they're buying, how they're gonna get it, the shipping policy, the return policy. You want to make sure that your listing description is clear, is easy to read, it's enticing for buyers to click on, and to click on the buy it now button. You want to make sure that you describe anything and everything about your listing description, like just the important things. Also, just don't like make it too long either. Include like the information of the item, the size, the shape, the color, the shipping, return policy, how to contact you, anything that a potential buyer might have a question about. I did see that yours is very long, which is fine. However, what I would do is maybe add little sections to kind of make it easier to read. And what I mean by that is, I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me show you. This is like one of my new stores that I'm working on now. And what I mean by that is this. So doing something like this, like putting little sections, description, and then putting what it is, what's included, and then like kind of putting what is included, how to order, refund and exchanges. That way, when people are browsing through the shop, they could go to the spot that they want to read. This just makes it easier. I have this on all my listings. It just makes it easier for someone to kind of understand what they're getting. And then it's broken down into sections. So it just doesn't look like a long paragraph. It's easier to read. So if I already know what I'm buying, I just want to look at the return and refunds, then I just go straight to that. So this is just a nicer way to kind of put things in perspective in little sections, and it's going to be way better for you. So I highly recommend doing something like that, just breaking it down into sections, putting description, how to order, shipping policy, different scents that are included, and then kind of doing that, maybe doing little lines or little astros or whatever to kind of separate it. I think you did a really good job of describing each of the samples. I do think that is a little bit too long, in the sense of it looks like a long paragraph. So if you were to separate it how I showed you right now, I think it would look much better in my opinion. And then I will also add a backlink back here, which is this right here. Let me show you. So you will put your link shop at the bottom, because a lot of times when people read, they'll go on the bottom and then they'll go up here and click back. But if you put your link shop, it will take them to your main page, and that's what you want to do. That way they don't leave your shop. And the nice thing about that is that the longer they shop on your store, the higher the chances of you making a sale and closing out the sale. So definitely add that. Other than that, I mean, your listing description is very detailed. So, I mean, you took the time to do that. I would just add, you took the time to describe everything, but you didn't add like the shipping policy and return policy. So I would add stuff like that. You could also create backlinks, sending them to other items in your shop that are similar. You could click here to view other apple spice flavors or scents or whatever you have. You could kind of like connect the pages together, and let them know, hey, I offer other products or other things in my shop that's similar to this item. So you could do that as well if you wanted to. So now you wrote a killer, I call it a killer description. You have everything that the buyer needs to know about your item. You got beautiful images. You have um, the right SEO tags. The next thing is the curation of your shop. So you want to make sure that you are presenting a trustworthy company, that people want to buy from you, that you're transparent, you have all the information up front. So you want to make sure that you take the time to fill out your About Me section. I don't see that you have one. And the About Me section basically is going to build credibility with the customer, because it lets them know who you are, how you got started. You could add visual, imaginary, like you got pictures showing them of your work, how you do it, and or maybe of your workplace. It's just nice to do that because people want to relate and want to get to know the person behind the shop. I would change your picture. I personally think it's a little too dark. I can't barely make out your face. I do like your picture here, your profile. Even in the future, you do want to end up getting a logo of some sort. Um, and then your profile picture, I would change it. I feel like right here is blurry. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at. I apologize. Maybe I'm not in this industry, so I don't really understand it. I just don't know. I thought this was mushrooms, or I thought this was like, you know how the the coral for under the sea. That's what I thought this was, and maybe it is. I'm not sure, but just the fact that I'm confused, I'm sure other people will be confused. This picture over here to the left is actually pretty. I think it's sea salt, I want to say. And then the middle one, I'm not 100% sure, and I apologize. That's just probably me, because I personally don't buy stuff like this, and I know it's amazing because I know a lot of people that buy like the items that you actually sell in your shop, and I always been told that like something like this, like detox, and you could put it in your bath soak and do stuff like that. I mean, it's amazing that you sell things like this. I think your shop is really cute. I do think that you have beautiful items. It's just that for the first time, if you are someone that never purchased something like this before, like myself, for yourself, you wouldn't know on top of your head what you're looking at. And that's gonna be kind of like one of those things that you know what you're selling, but somebody else might not know exactly what they're buying. So you have to kind of be very, very clear and portray a storytelling so people know exactly what they're looking at and what they're going to buy. If you look at the most prominent shops out there, you'll see that they have amazing photo covers. They have they have the cover, they have all their social media links, they have the website link, they have the hours of operation, they have amazing photography showcasing all the items that they have. I highly, highly recommend changing your cover. Um, if you don't know how to do stuff like that, which is understandable because I'm in the same boat sometimes with certain things that you have to learn with Etsy. I would leave a link below, but there's a company called um, Fiverr that you could go in there and you could buy product and services for very low. They start like at $5 and up, and they make amazing banners for you. And that's what I recommend, is creating a beautiful, beautiful banner. It's crucial to look apart. What makes you apart from every other store that's selling the same things that you're selling? That's the key, because you are in a competitive niche. So right now you have to work even harder. And the reason why you got to work even harder is because there's so many people selling similar items as yourselves. So therefore, you definitely have to set yourself apart. You have to tell a story. You have to communicate a certain style. You have to have, a logo, a cover photo that reflects the shop style, personality, and that it complements the photos. Everything should tie in together. I should be able to see this image and this one in the search engine on Etsy or on Google, and I should be able to say, oh, this belonged to the Danlian Wish Shop. I should be able to know your brand right away. And that's what brand cohesiveness comes from. Everything comes together, everything looks good, everything's cohesive. So you want to make sure that you do that. A lot of your pictures have different backgrounds. This one has a different style. This one has like that little granite. This one is a little confusing at what I'm looking. Am I buying this tag? What is this circle in the back? Is this paper right here? So that is two. One is not the best picture. I don't know what I'm buying, and it's a little confusing. This one is cut off. It has a white background. This one is actually pretty, but I don't think it's the best one for the first photo. I think this is a good one for like a second or third when you're showing off the product in its natural state. This is an amazing photo, actually. I mean, I love it. However, it's not the best for the first picture because someone that doesn't know what they're looking at, like myself, is going to get confused and not understand what they're looking at. So that's another thing. And the reason, you might say, well, if they're searching for it, why would they not know? Well, sometimes people search stuff by category. They might go click on a category, right? They might go on Etsy.com and click on bath and beauty. This pops up. You have an amazing photo, and they just buy it just because of the amazing photo. They were really looking for sea salt bath soaks. They just saw it. Your picture enticed them. They clicked on it. They read your listing description. Oh wow, this is so cool. You know what? Let me try it. So that's what I mean by that. Making sure that your image is so beautiful and so compelling that when they click on it, they have to have it, even though they weren't looking for it originally. That's how you get yourselves up as well. So this is my critique. Make sure that you put you do have a tagline here. I think it could be a little bit better, like your tagline, if you come up with something more creative. But I mean, at least you have it there. I like that you have your location. I'm in Chicago, so I don't know where Mackinac is. It sounds like it's far because I've never heard of it. But it's nice to know that you're in Illinois, like me. And yeah, I mean, you have beautiful products. That's not the problem. You have good things that even I would buy, actually. The issue is the presentation of it, the look of your shop, and not overlooking small details. Like, take the time to fill out your about me page. Take the time to fill out your story. Take the time to create, a really nice cohesive brand. Also, make sure that you create. I don't know if you have them. You didn't send them to me. I don't think you do. You probably don't, which because you told me your new store, which is fine. Make sure you open a Facebook page, an Instagram page. Make sure you do Pinterest. Out of all of them, it's like the best for Etsy sellers, and Instagram. So make sure that you do all across. Do a Google Plus page. Do an Etsy. I'm sorry, Google Plus, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. The reason why is because some people like Facebook, they don't like Twitter. Some people like Instagram, but they don't use nothing else. So you want to target all the audience from all social media. And then all you do is you create one photo for each platform, and you say the same content for each, and you just promote it all across. I do have links below where I show how to grow a Pinterest account, how to drive, like this month I drove like 1,500 people from Pinterest to my Etsy account. So just by using an app. So I have so many things that will help you with your social media. I have all the links below, and I will send them to you as well. But make sure that you open those. Those are important. And make sure that all across when you open them, that your profile picture and your banner is the same for the cohesive look of it and to build your brand. But you have the potential to build a really, really good brand. Don't get fooled by the number here. A lot of people say, oh, you have to have thousands. No, that's not true. I saw this store that sells 86 products, and she sold over 23,000 in sales. I have 5 times more than her, and I've never sold that many. So to be honest with you, is all about what you're offering. If you have something that's very unique, it looks very different. Sometimes just a photo, it might not be a product that's so unique. However, your photos are so amazing that you're just getting more sales, to be honest with you. So you definitely want to keep that in mind, that you want to add more stuff. Um, and a healthy number, I would say, is anywhere from 100 to 200 based on what you sell. If you have more stuff, obviously go ahead and add them, of course. But don't feel pressure to be like, oh, I have to add so many things, because as long you could add 1,000 items, but if your other stuff is not fixed, like the SEO, the pictures, and everything else doesn't come together, you won't make any money either. So it doesn't even matter to at that point. So just wanted to kind of let you know about that. But I hope that this tutorial has been helpful for you. And make sure that if this is your first time watching this YouTube video, make sure you go ahead and like this video. Stephanie, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you have not done so yet. And thank you again for letting me do a review. You guys have a wonderful day.